So, Aufladekabel gefunden, dann kann es jetzt auch weitergehen. Wir haben Herlock jetzt hier entdeckt in der, in der Wohnung von dem Mr. Garrideb, von dem Vermieter. Ah, what's he doing over there? Mr. Sholmes? Aha! We meet again, my dear fellows. Good gracious, when did you sneak in here? Herlock Sholmes, sir, at your service. Whatever were you doing over by the window? I am giving to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madam. Yet sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up there. Well, keeping an eye to one's window at dusk is a prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. Was war prudent? Prudent. Vernünftig, besonnen, gescheit, klug, wohl überlegt. Okay. Ah, and one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, me? I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Wait, he's not talking about... is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon. Do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? There is a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes even see the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo. I think so? There's just time enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. Oh yeah, da habe ich richtig Bock drauf. Das ist bisher meine liebste Gameplay-Mechanik. Wenn man es Mechanik nennen kann. Mr. Garrideb, though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first rate. I'm afraid, sir, that it's all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by a careful observation of your living arrangements. I beg your pardon. The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. Okay. And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you. Mr. Naruhodo, look! Okay, also er hat durch ein wildes Biest etwas sehr Wertvolles, für ihn sehr Wertvolles verloren. The old man's broken out in a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on. How? How could you possibly... Aber kommt jetzt gar nicht das... Oh, schade. Ich dachte, jetzt kommt jetzt wieder der Dance of Deduction. Schade. How could I possibly know, you mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. Ah! And I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Okay, doch, als ob. Okay, let's go. Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present is logic and reasoning spectacular. The great deduction. The game is the food. Topic 1. Conclusion. Nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that the fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Ach so, weil die Teller zerstört sind, okay. Thus, we are faced with a question. What form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrideb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion's statue. Okay. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. A fact that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts. What is that piffle, I ask you? In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house. What? Als ob er einen echten Löwen da drin hat. Yet, living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well... Yet, as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam. Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is. Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. For protruding from, it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Ah! Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garrideb. At Betty's Circus, a traveling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe. I most certainly did not. I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. And a simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire. Conclusion: a rampaging Asiatic lion. Ich glaube nicht. Topic 2. Aftermath. Now, Mr. Garrideb. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tankable. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Amid fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage. Nonsense, man, I simply... But what we must now ask ourselves is the true cause of this pain. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is the pile of pills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. Ah! For cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household. And so, you had no choice but to let it go. Yes, well, Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Woolen? Ich glaube eher woolen, ne? Wolle. Oh dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? Ah. This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eyes have settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. Okay. Ah! There's no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it or was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake? Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There's only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India. Oh man. Carpet gnawed on by the starving lion. Oh yeah. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this beastly puzzle. Ah! What is the matter with you, Joan? You're pouring scalded hot tea all over me. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garrideb. I'm afraid I didn't notice. Wieso feuert sie nicht einfach, wenn sie so drauf ist? My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times, too. Oh. Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in, but could I make an observation? Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it? Again. Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room of this size? Indeed, it is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well? Was hat gesagt? The terrifying is beyond the realms of common sense. But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garrideb and his mate would have been hurt, or worse. Ah, that's where you are stuck. No doubt the former military man held its own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said that they sold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I have ever heard of a lion that drinks tea. Ah, my dear Miss Susato, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. Egal was für eine Spezies man ist, alles klar. Oh, what a glorious notion. Well then, Mr. Naruto, it's your turn to shine again. I had a feeling that was coming. A slight massage, that's all Mr. Sholmes deductions need. You can do it. Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruto. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least that's what I want to believe. Let us start again. From the beginning. Of Sherlock Holmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Holmes. Nature of the beast. A rampaging Asiatic lion. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that the fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Was heißt candid? Verraten wahrscheinlich? Aufrichtig, offen. Okay. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrideb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Und hier liegt der erste Fehler. I really didn't see the lion thing coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Garrideb's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room. Yes, something with a very fierce nature. But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India. So what was it then? We must follow Mr. Garrideb's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer. Okay. Oh, dahinter, guck mal. Lion Statue Photograph Frame. Guck mal, da hat er irgendwas in der Hand.
Take that!
Doch nicht. Behind the line, how much liberty hidden from you is a photograph. So I have yet to examine it in detail. I'm employing an extremely advanced detection technique called jumping to conclusions, you see. That deduction was wanting in every way. Yes, I was wanting you to hear that. I'm quite proud of it. I find myself wanting never to have heard it. I'm quite pained by it, in fact. Oh, sorry. I'll try again. Okay. Dann müssen wir es wohl erst untersuchen. Ja, bla bla bla. It's a destructive creature has been at work in this room. Okay, that gives its identity away. Yes, if we investigate thoroughly enough, we ought to find the answer. Dann müssen wir das Bild erst untersuchen, oder was? What's this photograph? It appears to be from Mr. Garrideb's wedding. Ist das... Ach so, das ist seine Frau. Ich dachte, das wäre ein Tier. Oh, es tut mir leid. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride. Oh, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. I wonder what happened. Probably best not to dive too deeply there. Newlywed bride. The glass is broken, so you can't see the bride's face at all. But no amount of cracks could hide the woman's plump form. I think powerful would be kinder than plump, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, she certainly looks that. There's a lot of horsepower there. Not someone you'd want to upset, that's for sure. Oh look, have you noticed her wedding ring? It's very large, isn't it? Yes, that's an unusual design. It looks like some sort of embellished sunflower. Mr. Garrideb. This must have been when Mr. Garrideb was still in the army. He seems to be carrying his rather stout bride effortlessly and beaming a smile at the same time. I suppose he was very strong in his younger years. Hard to imagine now. He's as thin as a rake. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Bei seiner Frau? Bei der Braut?
Take that!
Scheinbar schon. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant in here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. Außer die vom Löwen. Yes, this framed print picture pictures your wife, ja moin, your wife, Mr. Garrideb. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Oh, indeed, surely any woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late, the fact remains that the beast which so clearly savaged this room was your wife, Mr. Garrideb. Ah! The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well, yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Warte, ist es die maid? Nein. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam. Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction It is? Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to B's current whereabouts. The poor, fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about fragile. Oh, dear. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is quite right. There's no sign of a Miss Garrideb anywhere. But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. A clue that his mate is trying to hide. I wonder where Mr. Garrideb's wife could be. Ja, bestimmt nicht im Zirkus. Okay, gucken wir mal. Mate. Ah, guck mal. Hatte ich recht oder hatte ich recht? Present. Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the bee's current location. Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the bee's current whereabouts. Ah! Indeed, it does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Garrideb's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Garrideb's lucky bride. You are Miss Garrideb herself. Oh my! What? Damn. Dann wissen wir ja Bescheid, dass der Typ seine Frau im Maid-Kostüm rumlaufen lässt. Ich meine, was? Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmised, this is the wife, yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you're a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. I was 2nd Lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Damn. Einfach wegen Status hat er sie als Maid, lässt er sie als Maid arbeiten oder was? Yes, here in London one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though, in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are folly. You mean Mr. Garrideb has his wife work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garrideb? Only in company, obviously. But listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please. Conclusion? The raging wife of Mr. Garrideb. Topic 2. Aftermath. Conclusion. Carpet gnawed on by the starving lion. Now, Mr. Garrideb. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that live pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Mr. Sholmes is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Garrideb's wife a beast. Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable. But Miss Garrideb is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? Oh, how true. So perhaps that supporting arm that seems to be propping up his head has some other significance then. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrideb's pain is tangible though. What could that pose of his really signify? The pain you feel by a supporting arm. Oh! Häusliche Gewalt oder was? Slap cheek.
Take that!
Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by that slapped cheek. And of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade was you, Madame Joan Garrideb. Well, yes. You have been desperate to hide the slap mark on your cheek, sir. Ah! How the blazes? How did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. To keep your other side from view. Well, Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Garrideb to fly into a rage. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Didn't Mr. Sholmes say that the bills were all for lion fodder? Yes, but now we've established that the lion never existed. Which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling up all that food was Mr. Garrideb's right. Naruhodo! She's a person, not a thing. Yes, well... scheinbar eine Person, die viel ist, oder was? She's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap round the face. One so hard that it left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yes, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder? I'd love to know the answer to that question. Pile of bills. Oh, okay. Bookmark. Ah, someone must be reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here, look. Mr. Garrideb is clearly an avid reader. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Okay, und das ist vielleicht doch keine häusliche Gewalt. Das wäre auch ein bisschen dark gewesen für Ace Attorney. Oh James, I love you. Yours, Mary. And look next to the signature here. Lip marks, made with lipstick. Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture. Don't get any ideas, Susato-san. Oh dear, I'm sorry. So this bookmark is actually a love note then. Love note. Present.
Take that!
Yet it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, a certain Miss Mary, is the fly in the ointment here. Ah! But I don't know the Bolly woman. You don't know her. That note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there. It was just in there, you say? That's right. That's what I... Ah! A likely story. Now listen here, John, old thing. I explained at the time. I bought the book at that second-hand place, and that note must already have been in there. So, the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean? Oder wie heißt er denn? Ah, ist doch nicht James, oder? John heißt er. That's right, that's what... Ah! A likely story. For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you've forgotten, is John. Ah! A likely story. Are you questioning my name now? And there we have it. Arouse the suspicions of the female heart, and you unleash a beast with the most ferocious bite. Now, in the final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, das ist eine Kerze, die daneben liegt. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? Ah! This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yet, yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. But surely Miss Garrideb didn't eat the carpet. No, of course not. But there doesn't seem to be any doubt. It's the state of disarray that this room is in is a result of her wild temper. No, that's not true. No, that's true. So, it's the last part of Mr. Sholmes' deductions that we need to fix. We need only to follow Miss Garrideb's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer. Alright, let's see what we can see. Yes! Okay. Ich denke mal, die Candle da, ne? The carpet here has been ripped to shreds. Yes, and according to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, the tears match those made by an lion's teeth exactly. The tears, glaube ich, eher. Oh, look here! What is it? If you look closely at the edge, you can see scorch marks. Oh yes, so you can. In that case, perhaps the carpet wasn't eaten in the normal sense at all. Let's rethink this with that in mind. Carpet. Ah, candlestick. This looks like a very old candlestick, doesn't it? The base looks too small. Surely it's very unstable. It looks to me like even the slightest knock would make it topple over. Oh dear, that would be dangerous. Wait, take a closer look at this. There's one candle missing. Yes, I didn't notice that before. Why is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the three missing from its holder? Carpet.
Take that!
Candlestick. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at this candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow. Wait a moment. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course, the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remnants of a ferocious attack in which the carpet was severed are clearly visible. Indeed, they are. The scorch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks? It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital altercation. Miss Garrideb's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused the candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds, the carpet was alight and the whole corner of the room in flames. Yes, For the most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see, there is but one conclusion here. After the sparks of marital discourse flew, this room was the scene of a fire. Deswegen der Sichtschutz, denke ich mal. Mr. Sholmes, Sir. I salute you. Oh. Carpet scorched by a small fire. Solved. Deduction complete. Epic. Elementary.